Good evening and happy Mother's Day. Hi, Vincent. Today I am going to be reading The Incredible Truth About Motherhood by Bradley Trevor Grieve. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is the Hand That Rules the World by William Ross Wallace. A child's dreams are tomorrow's reality. Children are the future, our future, by which I mean our future champions. Supermodels, Elvis impersonators, IRS agents, and so on. So, in no small way, our world is in their tiny hands. But whose hands are they in? We all know. The answer, of course, is someone with extreme patience, gentle understanding, and never ending love. Well, that's certainly the truth. Namely, their mothers. This epic relationship begins with childbirth, an experience most mothers describe as exhilarating. Most mothers. It was for me. Exhausting, definitely, and more painful than a lap full of hot coffee. And yet so special and so rewarding that it cannot easily be described in words. Yes, indeed, the opportunity to guide this new life toward its destiny can only be seen as a precious gift from God. At that moment, the intense feelings of love and purpose can make it impossible for mothers to contain their heartfelt joy, which is why the first ear-splitting cries at 3 a.m. can be a wake-up call in more ways than one. Usually as I'm reading something like this to Vincent, I'm just asking him what animals they are. Breastfeeding isn't exactly a walk in the park either. And let me tell you, nothing makes the magic of motherhood disappear faster than changing your first stinky poo diaper. It's true of fatherhood as well. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Now, once a woman has children, she can't run. Penguins have a hard time running anyway. They waddle. And she can't hide. They will be in the picture for virtually every hour of every day for at least the next 2 decades. Koala bears are cute. That means no long hot soaks in the bath, no unobstructed TV viewing, little lions, and absolutely no chance of an intimate moment going uninterrupted. In fact, from that moment on, she can barely put her feet up for a second without hearing distant cries for attention or being the expensive tinkle of a priceless crystal heirloom being smashed to smithereens by a rampaging toddler. I hope not. I hope we put all those precious things up and away. Oh yes, the joyful pitter-patter of tiny feet starts to sound a little more ominous. And so, for the new mother, Mondays are incredibly tiring. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are even worse. And the weekends? Don't even ask. Every morning, a mother wakes up to a new battle. There's basically no end to the dangers. Dangers for your little toddler, that's for sure. Unbelievably bizarre situations that kids can get into. At times, it seems as if a mother's vocabulary is limited to, oh my God. and get down from there this instant. I said that a few times. Thus, in order to save her children from themselves, she will perform a dozen high-speed rescues every single day. Makes the Coast Guard seem kind of lazy, doesn't it? No, I appreciate the Coast Guard. They're frontline heroes too. The shopping prayer, please, Lord, please help me get through the shopping quickly today without another embarrassing disaster, like last week's in the frozen food section. Amen. Shopping with children involves three things. First, being dragged into toy stores again and again. I spent many days in toy stores. Second, it means kids running madly through stores, knocking over displays, and generally creating havoc. My kids really didn't do that. Which provides the perfect cover for at least one child to wander off into the mall and get hopelessly lost. We've all been there. We've lost a child once or twice. But last but not least, it means, Mommy, can I have an ice cream? Please. I want an ice cream. Well, the please would work better than the rest. Ice cream, 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 ice cream. Oh, baby, talk about a headache for life. And people wonder why Prozac sales are booming. They still sell Prozac? I don't even know. Now, while all this is going on, you might be wondering what it is that fathers actually do. Are they just sitting around all day twiddling their opposable thumbs? No, sir. They also grunt and say, go ask your mother. Nah, my son is a good daddy. And sometimes they shout, I'm not going to use the word, the D word, it, honey. Can you keep these kids quiet? I'm trying to watch the game in here. I don't think my son would ever do that. Who knows? Okie dokie, so now you know. Anyway, let's get back to Mom and the joys of mealtime. Children dear, please come inside and get ready for dinner, please. 48 minutes later. For the last time, can you get your butts in here and eat? I'm not going to use the D word. Children may be listening. Don't give me any broccoli. Are we having French fries? I want French fries. Kids can be picky eaters. Oh, not pot roast again. I hate pot roast. Blech. Family dining does not always provide the positive communication opportunities described by TV talk show hosts. That I believe. Little piggy butts. Amazingly, a mother can prepare over 20,000 family meals before her kids leave home. And still there would be children and husbands who think that the dinner just magically appears on the table every night. I know my son doesn't believe that. To them, it is as if you just snap your fingers and a roast chicken would fall out of the sky. If only. Of course, now we have so much delivery service. You actually can just snap your fingers and get food delivered. After dinner is over, getting the kids bathed and ready for bed requires a firm hand, to say the least. But eventually, the precious little ones fall fast asleep, as innocent and beautiful as baby angels. Look at those little puppies. Phew! Finally, Mom has a chance to inhale some sanity and maybe even enjoy a few romantic moments with the man of the house under the covers, or maybe not. In which case, she will collapse into a deep, healing sleep before being awakened in the middle of the night by a screaming child having a nightmare about being chased by an evil monster from their Harry Potter book, which they described as looking somewhat like their school principal, but with bigger teeth. I believe it's a sugar baby, maybe? I don't think it's a mouse. I think it's a sugar baby. That's when Mom discovers that she also has to counsel them through the shame of bedwetting. You know, leading social scientists estimate that one day like this equal to 6 months in a Russian salt mine. Little wonder that mothers turn gray overnight. That's the truth. especially considering that, as we all know, 999 out of every 1,000 children born have had the potential to be rotten little monsters. And one will be abducted by aliens. I don't think so. It's just a cute little kitty. Certainly, as children mature into teenagers, they become very sneaky indeed. Little white lies about washing behind ears and brushing teeth. Look at that little pussycat. He wouldn't tell a lie. Become absolute whoppers as young adults test and retest the boundaries of their mother's gullibility. Ooh, Mom, I feel so sick today. Boy, I'm sick. Reckon I must be too sick to go take my geography test. And I studied so hard for it, too. Okay, that was coughing. That was written into the story. Of course, sometimes kids really are sick, and that's no fun for Mom either. Grooming a child for adulthood is not easy, and whether it's wild hairstyles, try something out, funky piercings, or catch them trying to sneak back into the house after a secret date, this period is perhaps the most worrying for a mother. What if her child grows up to be an inept criminal mastermind? Inept because he got caught and he's in jail. A White House spokesperson, or, God forbid, become a regular on Baywatch. You don't know what Baywatch is, most of you. To make a mother's job even harder, she has a million irritating friends and relatives looking over her shoulder all the time, ready to give advice on the best way to raise kids today. Look, honey, you got to spank naughty kids. Forget what the book says. You got to spank them real good or they'll turn out rotten. Why, I got spanked with a shoe every day of my life until I was 21, and I'm grateful for it, too. Yeah, I don't think so. I never spanked my kids. If all this sounds rather stressful, that's because it is. Some moms go completely nuts until their kids leave for college. Who can blame them? Frankly, when you consider their burden, it's surprising that more mothers don't develop an eating disorder. Break out into an embarrassing stress-related rash. Develop unquenchable thirst for tequilas, or at least have an affair with their therapist. That would not be nice. But throughout all of this, a mother never loses sight of her loving purpose, to walk beside her child through life's difficult journey. That's the truth. Every step of the way. Sometimes a child has an obvious talent and a clear passion to pursue it. Mostly, it takes a little time to emerge. Along the way, there will definitely be moments that everyone would rather forget about. But eventually, after much effort, a mother will finally be able to see her children find their place in the world. Sooner or later, they will find someone special to enjoy it with. Then, and this will break your heart, a mother knows that she must say goodbye. The child for whom she has been an endless source of love, wisdom, and inspiration has now grown up. And she sits back to watch her child leave. The silence of her home echoes with memories of little hands, first words, and wobbly steps and tiny toes. Boy, that's the truth. So how on earth can we possibly begin to thank mothers for bringing children into existence, for raising all the intelligent life on this planet, and thus guaranteeing the survival of our species? Now, that makes you stop and think, doesn't it? I think I know the answer. Well, let's see. A 5-star, all-expense-paid luxury holiday for the rest of her life would probably be a good place to start. Or perhaps some beautiful flowers every now and then, not just on Mother's Day. And a big thank you kiss would make her feel very special, but not as big and sloppy as the kisses forced on you by over affectionate relatives with fish breath. But of course, a far greater reward is for her little bundle of joy to fulfill his or her potential by growing up to be someone she can be proud of. I'm proud of my sons. Someone who is honest and loving, someone who treats others with kindness and respect, someone who will stand up for what they believe in. Absolutely. Someone who, in their own small way, makes the world a better place. Sorry, I've got to show you those pictures. But all she really wants, all she really hopes for, is to know in her heart that her children are truly happy. Truth. That's just it in a nutshell. It all sounds incredible, but it's true. In return for all her countless hours of devotion and sacrifice, a mother just wants her children to be happy. And to occasionally hear 4 very special words. I love you, Mom. My sons say it a lot. They didn't mention in here. Greatest reward of all is grandchildren. Love you, Vincent. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.